Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon, and today on PartnerTalks, we have a return guest, Steve Mordue. For those who do not know Steve Mordue, tell the folks who you are and what you do for a living, Steve.
Sure, Rick. I'm a retired MVP, retired by Microsoft. I was in that group for about 9 years. I believe that's where you and I met originally. I have two companies. My original company is called ForceWorks, which is a services provider customizing Dynamics and other Power Platform. But our primary business is really our RapidStart apps brand, which we launched back in 2015. So it's a suite of simpler to use applications than the Microsoft Enterprise alternatives for CRM, project management, field service, etc. That's what we're focused on today.
Okay, so Steve, we usually start this show talking a little bit about the person. So what's the history of Steve Mordue when it comes to business applications, and how did you get to the seat you're in today?
Sure. Well, I've actually never been employed by anyone. So I started out as an entrepreneur at 17, and I've just remained one ever since, done a lot of different things. But I got into tech, maybe about 2000, something like that, for a little business I was running. And I'd stumbled into Salesforce software at the time, right when they launched. Became a kind of a power user of Salesforce, and I decided that was a better business, so launched ForceWorks, which is a play on the Salesforce name, back shortly after they launched, and did that for about 10 years. And then moved over to Microsoft when they launched Dynamics CRM into the cloud. Now it was a competitor, and I kind of looked over the fence and decided kind of like the Microsoft ecosystem better. It was more than just CRM. So made the move and haven't looked back. Been focused on Dynamics 365, now the Power Platform, ever since.
Okay, Steve, thank you. And we're going to talk next about we'll stay with the RapidStart apps, because I'm very excited about what you're doing. And as a matter of fact, we spoke a few weeks ago, and I just converted my business over to RapidStart. So let's talk a little bit about how RapidStart got its beginnings, where it is today, and where you're taking it.
Sure. When we came over to Microsoft back around 2011 timeframe, coming from Salesforce, we noticed it suffered from some of the same challenges, and that is that both Salesforce and Microsoft were building enterprise applications, which is great if you're an enterprise. But small and mid-sized businesses always struggled at Salesforce, and they struggled the same at Microsoft. Well, just too big. App was too big, did more than they needed, too complicated, didn't have the internal resources to properly train and manage it. So there was a high failure rate among smaller businesses, and the smaller they were, the more they failed. And I had never tried to solve that problem at Salesforce, but at Microsoft, a couple of years in, I decided, we need to create something that sits on top of Dynamics and just hides all this complexity. There's too many buttons, there's too many bells, whistles, too many lights. We need to just hide a bunch of those and see if we can't only expose, through filters, a basic CRM, which is what most of these folks want anyway. And we did that, and people were paying Microsoft $44 at the time for CRM, and then they were paying us another $20 at the time to hide most of what they paid Microsoft for. But it was a good model. Clearly, we found a niche where there's people that want to stay inside of Microsoft. They don't want to go outside and use some other CRM, but there was no option. And when Microsoft separated their first-party apps from the underlying platform, creating what we know now as Power Platform, we just saw an opportunity to get off of the top of the Dynamics app and just sit next to it. So we're basically built on the same platform as Dynamics. They're like the big brother to our left. We aren't dependent on Dynamics, but we share a lot of the common things: Dataverse, Power Automate, Power Apps, all that sort of stuff. And And the apps really took off from there. We got over 170,000 global users. We've got 17 partners in other countries that we don't service very well, that are able to service those customers. And just been head down, improving the apps over all this time, making add-ons for the apps to extend their capabilities, all without making them complicated. The whole guiding thought of the whole business is people want simple, keep it simple.
So we've got a set of simple apps at a lower price point than Dynamics CE sales. Let's talk about, what really got me excited. Two things. My first question to you a couple of weeks ago was, what are you doing with AI? We're going to get there in a minute. But let's talk a little bit about the add-on applications that you've developed.
Sure. We've got four main applications. We've got the RapidStart CRM, which was the original. It includes sales and service capabilities. We've got RapidStart Project, which can be used standalone or together with RapidStart CRM, which is project management capabilities. We got RapidStart Field Service, similar. It could be a standalone or added on, or you could stack all of these up, which is field service capabilities. And this is for smaller field service organizations. Think about like a air conditioning contractor with 20 trucks, whereas the Microsoft offering is for a cable company with 10,000 trucks. So we're just targeting a different market. We also build a bunch of add-ons to just extend the value of these apps, mostly on the CRM platform. Since we're built on Dataverse, just like Microsoft, we can customize the same way you can customize Dynamics or anything else to make it kind of do whatever you want. We have a lot of apps, and we're always looking for some different ideas. We didn't want to just shove them into the core product, because then, it just starts getting more complicated, which is what we were trying to fight. So they're all add-ons that people can install. We don't charge anything for the add-ons. They just add more value to RapidStart. And as you mentioned, RapidStart runs on Power Apps licenses, which are significantly less expensive than the enterprise Dynamics licenses. So that's been a focus, is looking for, just like we did with field service, CRM, project management, looked at something that Microsoft was doing that was kind of catering to big companies and creating a version of that would work for small and mid-sized businesses.
Okay, so the second question I have is, what are you doing today with AI, and where are you taking things?
Yeah, the AI presents some interesting challenges for all of us. What to do with it, how to incorporate it. Microsoft has their plans with their Copilot and things like that. Of course, Salesforce has their plans. Everybody has their plans. In the meantime, there's startups and people popping up everywhere with new ideas. And like the biggest risk in the AI space right now is this fear that you're missing out on something, and people kind of bouncing around all the time trying different things. But it's a very exciting time. And one of them that caught my eye was an application called OpenClaw, which just took off. I was there at the very beginning when that thing started moving. It was paying some close attention to it. It was kind of approaching the AI problem from a little different angle. This idea that you'd spin up on your local machine, the application, that you'd create some agents that could work together and do things on your behalf. Originally more of a personal productivity approach. Some guy pretty much built it for personal productivity, but it took off. The whole, just everybody was really liking it. And I think everybody was probably circling around the same thing I was thinking was, wouldn't it be great if you could take these kind of capabilities and bring them into a business? But just not possible. I mean, it was, too loosey-goosey, too scary, and businesses wouldn't touch it. And the larger the business, the less of an opportunity. But I kind of stuck with that idea. As a guinea pig, I went ahead and spun up one for myself. We run RapidStart with RapidStart. So we have RapidStart CRM is our application that we use as well. Highly customized, but RapidStart. So I launched a bunch of these agents, and then I attached them to our RapidStart. Put in some guardrails and kind of see what it could do. And I was just floored at what some of these things could do. We have a lot of inbound traffic coming into our CRM from a lot of different sources. For example, test drives. There's free test drive. People take test drives multiple times a day. People taking test drives. and that signal would come into our CRM, but we wouldn't really do much with it. So now automatically there's an agent watching for that signal. When it comes in, it's automatically doing research on who the company is, who the person is, and then responding back again automatically with a very natural message saying they're a bot. It's a rapid claw bot, but referencing their business, how our CRM could help them with this particular unique aspect, and really just absolutely floored me. And I decided, okay, I need to figure out how to bring this to businesses. So we're about to launch, not quite there yet. Been doing a lot of plumbing, really building a version of OpenClaw, which we're calling RapidClaw, that is spun up inside of Microsoft. All of it lives inside Microsoft, just like our RapidStart does. It sits on an Azure VM. It uses Key Vault for keys, all sorts of security capabilities that Microsoft provides. Uses Microsoft Teams as the communication channel, and it's been very interesting. The biggest, I was actually mentioned to Charles last week, Charles Lamanna, that one of the things I think is a challenge is the company that says, I want some AI, getting to the point where they actually have functional AI is too hard. It's just today, it's too hard. I mean, you really have to be a tech nerd to go in and build anything useful. I mean, you can build stuff that's not very useful, sure, but companies want the useful stuff, and it's just too hard. So I was sitting here looking at what we're putting together with this RapidClaw on top of RapidStart, thinking, okay, I got to make this as simple as possible. So to be honest, most of the energy has been spent not on the product, but on the deployment of the product. So that someone can literally just push a couple of buttons, boom, a 12 agent team is automatically deployed, ready to go to work as soon as you push the button that says go. So that's been the goal. It's been pretty exciting. I've shown it to, and Microsoft's pretty excited about it. I've got more meetings with them later on in the week. But I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's going to be, we're bringing some of this, what appeared to be pretty wild AI. We've kind of tamed it and bringing it inside of Microsoft. And I still don't expect any big customers will do it, because they just won't. But I think that for SMB to suddenly be able to activate a whole team of agents, within 30 minutes, is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see what people do with it.
I'm excited too. And, because you're on Dataverse, you're still going to keep supporting Copilot and everything Microsoft's doing, but this is sort of extra.
Yeah, it's another way of looking at it. It's not like the whole Microsoft stack supports outside products, always has, right? I mean, we bring in all sorts of different DocuSign and whatever stuff into their ecosystem. And they have their Copilots. I definitely think there's a place for Copilot in the enterprise space in particular. It's funny, it's almost at one extreme or the other. Copilots, I think, are great for very small use cases that anybody can do, or very complex cases which probably are going to fall into enterprise territory. So there felt like there was kind of a gap here for something for the small business, especially something they could pretty much just push a button and start getting value from. And Microsoft's exploring it too. I mean, they're exploring, I don't know if they're exploring integrating OpenClaw into their system, but they're certainly exploring some of the ideas from OpenClaw, as is everyone else, Claude, OpenAI, they're all looking at these ideas. It's kind of an idea of like a headless CRM, which is not the same as no app or no SaaS. It just, you spend a lot less time in the user interface when you've got agents that are actually using it for you instead. They're going in and filling out the history, advancing opportunities, resolving cases. They're still using a CRM behind the scenes, but we don't have to as much.
Okay, perfect. So, Steve, I want to thank you for joining us today on PartnerTalks, and I'm sure we're going to come back in the near future to talk more about RapidStart and everything you got going in the world of AI.
Sounds great, man. Enjoy directions. I wish I could go, but it's just too far here from Brazil to go for a short trip like that. So,
all right, Steve, thank you, and we'll talk soon.